1965 is the year that everything changed at Fender. Sorta. So let's get into it. So everybody talks, we've been talking about for years, CBS, pre-CBS years, the dark ages of Fender.
Da-da.
Things are a little bit blurrier now. But let's figure out some actual dating here for a minute. So, January 5th, 1965. This is the year, this is the day CBS officially closed on Fender for a whopping $13 million.
My goodness. I mean, that was probably a lot of money in 1965.
It's a ton of money.
Yeah.
It's a ton of money now. Okay, so that's about the same as CBS paid for the Yankees. Just to give you an idea, it's pretty funny.
Which we looked it up, that's like $126 million in like
a couple years ago. So yeah, so it's probably like $135 million. It's a lot of money.
Not too bad.
To get paid to be building guitars, and he wasn't doing it that long. We think of Fender's legacy now, like he's had the 70-year anniversary and the Stratocaster in '54. Fender had been launched a little bit earlier than that, obviously, but like the 50s were really the time. So it was about, let's say, like 15 hard years of Fender. It was obviously in the 40s, but I've grown a business and then coming out with 130 mil.
I like to think he sold it because Hawaiian music didn't take off the way he thought.
I think
he's like, darn this rock and roll, I'm out.
So
I'm just kidding. I'm mostly kidding.
So we don't consider like the day of CBS's purchase is really not like where like your post and pre-CBS guitar begins in a lot of ways. A lot of people argue it's August of that year when processes were being changed and there's a further transition. I would like to I think it's been graded further.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they stopped doing everything the way they did it that day. You know what I mean? And with amps, you push it all the way. I mean, it's not pre-CBS, but you kind of think the whole black panel, black face, whatever you want to say, pushes all the way back to 68.
Well, I mean, like Leo Fender's there still. He's hired on contract. He's got a 5-year contract. Don Randall's there. Forrest White is still there. They don't start leaving until the next year. So concurrently, and the following later, like I think it was White left in '66, I believe. I think Don Randall left in '69, and Fender terminated his 5-year contract, I think, the same time. So you could go off and take a break and then relaunch another company.
Yeah.
But so they're still there and they're still in charge, but they started seeing the way CBS was turning it. So it did start to turn.
Right.
I think what I was talking about, the graying of this sort of topic, I don't know if people are going to care as much as they used to. As it used to be like, CBS or not CBS. That was the thing. Now that silver face amps are cool, now that big headstock guitars are cool, you're fetching $10,000 for a 1971 Stratocaster sometimes and more. It's like that. Who would have thought that?
Don't you think every time like a certain era becomes sort of unobtainium, we start thinking, oh well, 68's actually really cool, but what happens is you sort of doing that, so suddenly they become more desirable, prices rise, and then you got to say, oh, 80s guitars are actually pretty cool.
There's something about that. I know shredder collectors that do that. I mean, we look at sort of 72 as the cutoff of like Fender's sort of like. After that, it was a steady fall for a while until Bill Schultz bought the company back. Forget this, $12.5 million in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just think about that. It's just he bought the crumbling brand that was Fender.
That's wild.
And resurrected it, started the custom shop, made everything that is today. I think he would like to have a few changes if he was at the helm right now. I think he'd maybe tweak a few things. I don't think but that's just my own opinion. I never met the gentleman, but I've heard great things. Great things. So jumping back, what was Jimi Hendrix playing? What was he playing in 1954?
Absolutely. 69.
Yeah, it's off 69. The shelf. What were the Beatles playing?
God.
60s, late 60s. Whatever you buy down at the guitar. That's what Clapton was playing when he grabbed one. You just go to the guitar store, you buy one. So I'd almost beg to argue like the golden age of Fender has expanded a bit to encapsulate a bit of CBS's time.
So like, are you putting that still like through the 60s? Are you going all the way to 72?
I don't know. I'm still I think 68 is sort of a number I feel more comfortable with, of not necessarily golden. Like, Rome didn't fall in a day.
Right.
It took a little while for Rome to fall. Like, so Fender started to fall at this point, but there's still some gold coming out of it.
Yeah.
It's like Greece didn't collapse
I mean, I don't think there's any of us who wouldn't be like, oh, that's awesome if someone gave us a late 60s Stratocaster.
No.
Or Tele.
No.
I think we'd be like, yes.
Because they are amazing. I've played them. And I've played some 70s ones that are pretty dang good too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not necessarily the rule, maybe the exception, but there's some
Derek's
really
Deluxes. I mean, that's a fun guitar. It has no frets. It's like playing an ice skating rink kind of, but it's cool. Or the one you refretted.
the one that it's a great guitar, man.
It's a great guitar.
Sounds awesome. Now, I mean, some of those guitars were answers to them failing, like the Tellies, the
Right.
lines, and the customs for sure. But still,
Now jumping back to this the age-old question of like CBS, pre-CBS. I mean, if you want to be technical, it's got to be January 1.
yeah,
If you want to get sort of a little bit loosey-goosey in there, we're going to sort of go for the August dates of 65. Because it's still, nothing has really happened to change much. CBS has bought it, but you're still getting a Fender guitar from the pre-CBS construction style.
right.
They didn't start building the new production facilities until, I think, in 66, and then 69 is when they're really coming. They had like at least 3 more buildings added at that point, and that's when the guys were like, this isn't what we envision Fender anymore. This is now, it's like, because
Right.
the corporate overstructure is trying to cost cutting, build more, build faster,
Bottom line,
not build better.
yeah,
And then they left. So I think, you've got a golden age that's expanded a bit to the decline of the Roman Empire, up to 1968 at least. And then you've got your sort of August gray area of 65. If you want to be a pure stickler, January 6, 1965 is it. 2026. It's going to be weird that I was thinking, like, could I live to see 2100?
no,
No.
No.
I can live to see maybe like the late 2000s.
yeah,
Like, probably.
probably.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be neat.
If they extend our life,
I'm into it.
it'd be cool to live
It'd
on.
be possible.
I mean, they think kids being born now might live 125 years.
Nah.
Do you want to live 125?
Like microplastics.
Oh, God.
That's the word.
No, just kidding.
Never mind.
Okay, so hopefully that helps a little bit. I think it's sort of a fascinating trail, and I think it's cool that we've expanded our understanding of what a classic Fender is too. Because like, I laughed at the same thing with Martin. Everybody was like, 70s Martins are the worst. One of the best Martins I've ever played still is a 1975 D35. Had a K&K passive pickup in it. Phenomenal, stunning, loved every bit of it.
Easy. Yeah.
I think that's all we got.
That's it.
Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your guitars and have some fun on there. Peace be with you.